Shut up and sit down.
Hey, I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, hit that bell thing. That would be very kind of you indeed. And tonight, as always, we are surprising each other with trailers for things that we've not yet seen and filming our silly reactions.
So what do we have coming up next?
Well, next up is a trailer that neither of us has seen yet, and I was kind of tempted to skip it because we just covered the Fast and the Furious 9, or F9, or whatever you want to call it. F9 is just a key on a keyboard. That's a really stupid title, by the way.
What does the F9 key do?
I don't know.
You do IT, you should know this stuff.
I don't know what the F9 key does.
There's no way of knowing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not checking right now because we're in the middle of a video. But yeah, we just covered the Super Bowl spot for Fast and the Furious 9 very recently, so I was thinking, do we really want to go back and check out yet another trailer when this thing comes out in June 25th it releases, so can we not just wait a couple of months? But apparently we cannot, because I'm a massive Fast and the Furious fan, and therefore we are going to check out the trailer, the new trailer for F9, see what that sneaky John Cena is up to. If you want to see what we think about it, then hang around until afterwards, but for now...
Let's go!
Let's go!
The world has a way of changing, and we change too.
I know some people, they would die for me.
There are moments that separate us, but we always come back together.
We heard y'all needed a little love out here.
Y'all ever thought about the wild missions we've been on? We've taken out planes, trains, tanks. I'm not gonna even think about the submarine. And now we got cars flying in the air?
And a magnet plane.
Who is he?
Jacob is
Your brother, bitch!
Dom's brother.
Been a long time, Dom. Little brother.
You always say never turn your back on family, but you turned your back on me. Now your little family is in my world.
Are you ready?
Whoa!
Whatever's on you,
Is you ready?
it's on us.
Oh, nice!
He's got his own private army.
Holy
We need
crap.
Bring what you got.
Bring what you got. Bring what you got.
help. No way.
Is you ready? Whole squad
Yay!
So how do
Huh.
you want to play this?
Fast.
ready. We going. We going. Whole squad ready.
Okay, this is a bad time to mention this, but I don't drive.
What?
Brother against brother. This should be interesting.
Not as interesting as your
Could you kill
bangs.
him?
Yeah, really.
Get the e-brake for me, would you, darling?
That's not an e-brake.
Crank it all the way up.
We the soldiers. Man, we messing with magnets now? If you woke, don't wake up. Whoa. Get back in front. Yeah, everything we gave up. Even when we die, we raise up.
Whoa.
It's good to be back.
We got no white flag and no treaty. We got the product, we got the tools. We supposed to stop that? Hold on! We going wild, we on the loose. People is blind, we are the truth. Yes!
I spent my entire life in your shadow. And now, you spend the rest of yours living in mine.
We going wild. We on the loose.
Not today.
We are the
Really? Duct tape? You acting like we on our way to Home Depot.
Hunter! No, Trey!
What?
I don't want to die!
Man, I feel like I need to lay down after that. So the F9 trailer. I'm effed up. What did you think of it?
It was exactly what you're expecting. Like everyone, if you say F9, you're going to be like, you can write that trailer. And it's fine. Like, it's exactly what you're expecting, and that's what you sign up for when you watch the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, and you know... So I loved the first Fast and the Furious movie because I love cars, and I loved seeing like the world of import racing portrayed relatively accurately in this kind of cops and robbers story. That was really, really cool. Then I loved Too Fast, Too Furious, which had this kind of Miami Vice feel about it. It was kind of like a buddy action comedy. And I also, actually, I know people hate on it for so many reasons, but I also really liked the third one, Tokyo Drift. Because it's not often you get to see what a Japanese high school would be like, and like the origins of drift racing in Japan. And Han was one of my favorite characters, so man, am I glad to have him back. Have no idea how he came back from literally the dead in a burning wreck of a car, where you saw him in that car dying in past Fast and Furious movies, but...
It's probably going to be the same as they did for Palpatine.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe he's a clone with tubes. But, all of that being said, I gotta say, the later movies, they get away from cars being the center of it, and they just become more generic, massive budget action movies. And every single one tries to one-up the last movie in budget and the scale and the stunts. And like, I'm a sucker for big budget action stunt type movies.
True you are.
But the DNA of the Fast and the Furious kind of feels like it's been diluted a little bit, and every new movie they release dilutes it that little bit more. However, the thing I love about the Fast and the Furious franchise, which is still there in its DNA, is the family aspect, and everyone makes fun of that.
It's all about the family.
But I just love the fact that you've got this crew that have now been together for like half a dozen movies that are still together now. And there's a great dynamic. And like every now and again, I do sometimes wonder, have we got too many characters in this? Like too many personalities? But I think the way they actually have these like pairs and trios of characters that kind of bounce off of each other, and they work really, really well together, I actually kind of like that. So... yeah, I do really love the fact that you've just got this returning cast. I gotta say, I miss The Rock. I knew he wasn't coming back. Of course, we all miss Paul Walker as well. I mean, you know, that's just super sad what happened there. But I'm kind of glad we're getting a 9th Fast and the Furious movie.
I think the other thing that we've seen evolve over the course of these movies is that the women have been given a bit more agency, and they weren't exactly, like, not all of them were damseled before or kind of used as kind of motivational props like a lot of franchises do. They had more character, they were allowed to drive. We see them being a bit more integral to the plot and how things roll out with the plot, and like the schemes that they're in, they actually have valuable skills to contribute when they're doing their various shenanigans. And that looks set to continue with this, with a lot of the women kind of being given those ridiculous fight scenes and those kind of pushing people out of windows and then like riding them down to the ground, and it's just like, okay. And just that kind of cool stuff. And also the women get to talk to each other as well instead of just with men, which is kind of, it's nice to see that. So I like it that it's developed in that way. And that I'm looking forward to seeing that in this one.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think Michelle Rodriguez is one hell of an actor, and, you know, not only can pull off awesome driving scenes and fight scenes, but she's just great all around. You know, it's funny, though, when you said that, it reminded me, I'd completely forgotten until just now that Gal Gadot was in a Fast and Furious movie. And she was just, I thought, terrible. And I remember she was so bad in that as just this generic female with terrible English who just didn't really do very much. And I remember them casting her as Wonder Woman and me being like, what? Like, why would you cast her as Wonder Woman? She was so boring. And yet, clearly, she was next level awesome in Wonder Woman. So that probably goes to show something about how much was Gal Gadot and how much was probably terrible writing in that Fast and Furious movie. movie. But anyway, parking that, yeah, I completely agree with you. The other thing that I think you got to either love it or hate it are the stunts. And I feel like in previous trailers, we've seen that whole Mustang and the magnet plane to death. Like, we saw that first trailer so many times when we were doing hosting gigs in a cinema. So I'm not fussed about seeing that again. However, there were some actually really cool stunts. There's that big, long, armored truck thing that looks straight out of Deadpool 2. I wonder if they just borrowed that from Deadpool 2. But, yeah, that flipping around and being blown up, and I guess that's John Cena blowing it up in the plane. And then there was that car, like, randomly going sideways and flying into a truck.
It was the magnets.
Yeah, I guess because we didn't hear about magnets in the previous trailers, and apparently those are some strong magnets, so I hope nobody's got fillings or, like, a metal plate or screws in their hip or something.
Yeah, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, that could be some big trouble for you.
Maybe that's a plot element.
Yeah. You know, the only thing that I'm left wondering at the end of this trailer, though, is why can't those two brothers just get along?
No one knows.
I mean, like, most siblings have some kind of a challenging relationship. My sister and I argued. You and your brother argued as kids and adults. But you don't go flying after him in a plane trying to blow up his big armoured truck thing.
Hardly ever.
Yeah, and he doesn't launch his big armoured truck off a cliff at your plane and try to kill
Very
you.
rarely.
I mean, that just seems a little bit extreme.
It's a lot.
And I'm just wondering if some degree of family therapy might be useful for Vin Diesel and John Cena after this.
Yeah, like some kind of like mediation.
I mean, take a leaf out of Falcon and Winter Soldier's book. I mean, get them sat very close together so their knees are inappropriately touching, and do that staring thing. Look into each other's souls.
That worked.
That's what I would suggest. Well, I guess we'll have to see if therapy is a part of this movie, but we won't have to wait very long because it comes out in June, just a couple of months. But of course, you won't have to wait very long to see us again, because you know how often we do this?
Every day.
Every month.
No.
Oh.
I mean, we do, but it's every day, every month.
Every day of every month. So therefore, we will see you tomorrow, friends, on the next Dork Trailer Ambush.
Peace out, nerds.
Blood, it's all about the family.
Shut up and sit down.